In this video, I'm going to share my tips on how to earn your first $25 through podcasting. Stick around to the end of the video. Hi there, my name is Eric. I'm a violinist. Thank you so much for coming across this channel. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and also hit the bell notifications. I do a lot of violin tutorials, how-to tips, and I also do vlogs. It will also help me out as a content creator to provide more videos for you. So a little while ago, I made a video on how to earn your first $15 on Anchor, and I'll provide a card right up here for your reference on how to earn your first $15 on Anchor. That being said, I still use Anchor as my podcasting provider, podcast platform per se, and I've really enjoyed that experience. I'm the host of the Violin Podcast, which is a podcast where I interview violinists about career advice, violin tips, and anything related to the violin pretty much. Started the podcast in March of 2020, and I used Anchor because I've used my own personal domain as like a website podcast host. Decided to try Anchor and see where it took me. So I can now confirm that I've made my first $25 on Anchor, and it's actually not as difficult as you might think. And I'm gonna share with you my 3 tips on how to earn your first $25 on Anchor through podcasting. Number 1 is probably the most intimidating point, and that is to get started. You want to make sure you get started with podcasting. It's actually not as bad as it looks. Podcasting has become really popular within the last 5 years, as a matter of fact. So anybody can start a podcast. You don't have to have a lot of expensive equipment to start a podcast. All you need is your phone and a decent microphone that you can get on Amazon, and I'll provide a recommendation down in the link below for you to check out those recommendations. But yes, getting started through podcasting can be the most intimidating thing. I remember when I first started my other podcast, the Everyday Musician podcast, where I was so nervous. Actually, the first 3 or 4 episodes, you can tell that I was nervous, and I wasn't really confident in my ability to speak to my audience in the microphone and to an audience that I have never met before, that I never even seen. It can get really intimidating at first, but the more you do something, anything in life, you get more comfortable with it. So the first step to earning money, especially your first $25 in podcasting, is just to get started. And that leads me to my next point. Of course, you need to get started, but you also need to find the niche. So if you are passionate about, I don't know, like yarn or knitting, or if you're passionate about like Marvel movies or music like I am, and especially the violin because I'm a violinist, that's something that I'm passionate about, then start a podcast in the subject or in the topic or theme or niche that you are passionate about. Again, like if you're considering podcasting as a full-time job eventually, then you want to make sure you're able to talk about this topic passionately every single day or whenever your schedule is for when releasing podcast episodes. You want to make sure that you're not dulling your audience. You're not sounding too boring, or you're just talking about the same topics over and over again, and you're kind of like a broken record. And you'll soon realize that if you're not passionate about the topic you're talking about, you easily get demotivated. Is that even a word? Demotivated? Anyway, you don't get as motivated to continue producing more content and producing more podcast episodes. This is important because you want to create consistent content on a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly basis by producing more content. And if you produce more content, then you get more income revenue coming in at some point. Number 3 is to stay consistent. Don't be bogged down by not earning money right away through podcasting. Again, if you're passionate about the topic you want to talk about and you're getting started, then throughout a period of time, you're going to get used to starting a podcast and talking to different people. And actually, it's a great way to develop your communication skills for products that you might offer later on. That leads me to my bonus tip. Once you start a podcast and you become successful in your podcast, you're slowly becoming an expert in your field in a bigger audience. So once people acknowledge that you are an expert in your field, you can provide different kinds of courses or different kinds of products. If you have a listenership that is, of course, really passionate about the things that you're talking about, and that's the whole thing about being an entrepreneur and being a business person, is that you are trying to find a solution to a problem. And if you can provide that solution to an everyday problem or a problem that is within your field or your niche, you're gonna generate a lot of success and potential revenue. And to tell you the truth, my first $25 on Anchor was through ad revenue. And I just did a simple ad placement on Anchor, and Anchor does take a commission every time you do their ad, but honestly, like, I really didn't mind it because I was generating like a little bit of money. So right now I'm like a little bit above $25 like as of this recording of this episode. But you know, you can really start small and then grow into something bigger. And there you have it. That's how you make your first $25 on podcasting through Anchor. And again, let's just review those points. Is just to get started with podcasting. Don't be afraid to get started. Second is to choose a niche that you're passionate about. And third tip is just to stay consistent with the content. Whether you have an episode that is going to be released every day, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, or quarterly, whatever the case may be, you want to stay consistent with your upload schedule. Thanks again for watching this video, and if you found value in this video, please make sure to hit the like button. Please be sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notifications for when new videos come out. It really helps me a lot as a content creator to provide more videos for you. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video.